Okay, we are now recording. Um, so what we'll do first is we'll look at the homework you had to do last week, and we'll just make sure everybody was okay with that. We'll make sure everybody has registered with the different websites okay. Some of you had problems and you contacted me. Hopefully we have dealt with most of that. If not, we will fix it. Don't worry. And then we'll have a look at what you have to do this week. Okay. So now this is all for the writing class, of course. We'll do the writing class this morning. I'll try to keep it to 30 minutes. Then you can go and work on the writing. And then at 11 o'clock, we will swap and we'll do the communications class. Okay, so when we finish today's session for writing, we'll actually stop the Zoom session, okay? And then we'll all log back on for the Zoom session at 11. Okay, I'll start by sharing my screen. Actually, before we do that, here's a quick question for you, okay? I'm going to send you a survey. It's a very, very quick and easy survey. It only has 2 questions. Okay, the first question is, do you have the textbook? Okay, you need the textbook for today's lesson. And the other question is, did you do your homework? Now, for the do you have your textbook question, there are 3 answers. Yes, yes I do. No, but I have ordered it. And no, I haven't ordered it yet, okay? And for the homework, the 3 answers are yes. Yes, I've done my homework. I started it, but I didn't finish it. Or I didn't start it, okay? Okay, I'm gonna send this out to you. Please answer. And once everybody is answered, we'll have a look at the results and then we'll go on with looking at the homework. Okay. For the people who just joined us, okay, there's a poll, a survey. Please just answer the 2 questions. Do you have the textbook? Did you do your homework? Okay, nearly everybody has answered. What I'm going to do is I will end the survey and I'm going to send you the results so you can see what everybody else has done. Okay, so the person who just joined probably hasn't had time to do this, but we'll end the poll anyway. Okay, and I'm going to share the results with you. Okay, now you can see with the textbook, we have 2 people who have ordered it but don't have it, and 1 person hasn't ordered it yet. That person, you need to order it as soon as possible because you will be using it this week. Okay, I'll be talking about the textbook today. Okay, this is the textbook right here. This is for the writing class, of course. We'll be looking at the textbook. There's an activity in the textbook that you need to start today. But obviously, because we're online, you have a week before the activity has to be done. So hopefully, if you order the textbook today, you'll have it before the end of the week. You'll be able to do the activity. Those who have ordered it, hopefully it will get to you soon and you'll be able to do the activity. Those who have it, well done, good job, and you'll be able to do the textbook quiz. today. Now, homework. All right. Most of you have done it. Some of you started but didn't finish, and one of you hasn't started it. Okay. We'll be looking at the homework today, but it's very simple. If you do the homework, you'll pass the course. If you don't do the homework, you'll fail the course. I'm not going to chase you up on that because that's not my job. Okay, I'm not your mother or your father. I will show you how to do the course, but I'm not going to be chasing you like a Shogaku sensei. That's not what I am. All right, you need to take responsibility for doing your own homework. And if you don't, you will fail. Very simple. Okay, now I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, and I will now share my screen. Okay. Here we go. So this is the writing class for this week. Okay. We want to have a look at what you did last week as well. So we'll go back through that in a moment. In fact, we'll do that right now. Let's have a quick look. This was the writing fluency, okay, the 10-minute writing activity that you did. And I just want to say, it looks like you guys did a really good job. Now, this is almost perfect, okay? Yuto has done a really good job. He's written out what he did, or what he does rather, on a normal day. It's quite interesting. I'm really interested in it because I also do karate. So, and I love ramen. Okay, now a few people have asked Yuto questions. Okay, so what Yuto needs to do now, Yuto, if you're listening, you need to come back and actually answer those questions. Kohei, you've actually replied to Takumi. Okay, when you click reply, you need to reply off the person who posts page. Okay, unless, so you were talking to Yuto, but you've actually replied to Takumi. Okay, so when you're replying to these posts, you need to click on the original post so that you are replying directly to it, like these two are. Okay, if I come down a little bit further, okay, so Yuki, you also need to reply to the people who are asking you questions. But Yutaka has done that. Okay, so here's a good example. He's written about his daily activity. He likes to exercise a lot, which is great. Takaru has asked him a question, and Yutaka has answered the question. This is pretty much perfect. Okay, try to get into that habit each week. Okay, the really nice thing about this writing activity and the discussion forum is you get to learn about each other, and a lot of what you say is really interesting. Okay, I actually enjoy reading through your answers because I learn a lot about you and I get to understand your background, and that way I can actually help you a little bit more when it comes to learning. Now, the other things you had to do last week. Okay, you had to do the sentence combining. All right. Now, for the sentence combining, hopefully you were able to do it. It can be a little bit tricky. All right. Having said that, Yuto did a great job. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. 100. Kotomi, you didn't do it. Okay. So that would mean you would get 0 for this activity. Yutaka, great job, 100%. Remember, you get 2 chances at it. Okay, so Maho, you did it once, but you can actually do it again unless you're happy with 40%. Same with Ryuhei, okay? This activity, okay? These activities, there's going to be 6 each quarter. These are really useful for improving your writing. And somebody asked me this morning, how can I improve my writing? Or how can I improve my English? For writing, one of the most important aspects of writing when you're learning as a second language is being able to take short, simple sentences okay? And combining them together to make longer, more complicated, detailed sentences. And these sentence combining activities, we are trying to show you how to do that. And if you can use these, okay, they're not just a way of grading you, then they are done for a reason. Because if you can use these when you write, your writing will become much better, okay? Easier to read, giving more detail, more interesting for the person reading as well. Your writing level will increase by combining sentences. And so that's why we do this activity, okay? And like I said, you get 2 chances to do it. You get given the answers after the first one. So, and whatever the highest grade is, see, I don't know what the first one was, but the second one is 100. And so if the first one was, say, 50, we take the second one. Okay, we take whatever your highest grade is. All right, so that's the sentence combining. I'm not going to go through that and look at everybody's results. I will be downloading them. They will count towards your grade. Okay, so doing these is important. It will count towards your grade. But I'm not going to go through them every week and say, oh, you've done this and you haven't. Okay, again, it's up to you to do these. I will add though, that if you're having trouble with these, or if you find a problem with them, okay, I don't always get them right. If you find a problem with them, please let me know. Okay, if I've made a mistake when I created the question, please let me know. One last tip when you're doing these, let's see if I can just preview one. Okay, so the examples are all there. One tip is make sure you remember to put in the full stops at the end, okay? In fact, probably the easiest way to do these is actually to copy and paste into the box and then change in the box, all right? And the other thing is just be careful of using commas, okay? In the instructions, it will tell you where the commas should go. Make sure you put the commas in. And also the reason I would suggest copying and pasting is it just removes the chances you're going to make a spelling mistake. So for example, if you spelt neighborhood wrong, then even though you wrote neighborhood and the grammar is correct, it would mark you wrong because of the spelling mistake. And this isn't about spelling. This is about learning how to put 2 sentences together into one longer sentence. Okay, so I don't care about spelling, and I don't want you to lose marks because of spelling. So please just be careful. All right, so that's the sentence combining. Okay, and there will be another sentence combining activity this week, which we'll have a look at shortly. We want to have a look at the other, here we go, the other thing you did for homework. Okay, and that was the writing the email. Okay, so this was last week's homework. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Last week's lesson. And right at the bottom, it goes through what you had to do for homework. Okay, so we've looked at sentence combining and we've looked at the timed writing. Obviously, the sentence combining that you do in your own course pack, I can't see and I'm not going to grade, but doing this first will help you doing the final activity online, which is going to be graded, okay? Now, there was a quizzes activity about the contents of the course. We'll have a look at that in a moment. There was a Kahoot. We'll see who has done that. There was an Edpuzzle, which you had to do. And there was an email. Last week was quite big, wasn't it? Okay, don't worry. There won't be that, it won't be the same amount of homework every week. The first week was a big one. But let's just work through these one at a time. Now, the quiz is activity. Okay, here's our page. Okay, that's actually for the communication. We need the writing. Okay, 48 students in a class of 39. I think we have a few problems. Okay, I think I see what's happened. Okay, what I'm going to do is just have a look at the report for the class, and we'll see how you guys went. Okay, so that was the writing class. Here we go. Why is that one already done? That's weird. Okay, this one. Here we go. That was the course overview. And look at that. Well done. Okay, so these people didn't do it. Yoshifumi, you've already contacted me, so that's fine. We'll try and make sure that you can do it this week. But these people, if you are seeing your name here and you haven't done this activity, the question is, do you have a problem or were you just lazy? Okay. So if you're having a problem with doing the homework, you need to let me know so we can fix it. There's not much we can do about you being lazy. You will have to deal with that yourself, okay? And you might pay for that at the end of the quarter if you fail. But hopefully, okay, you need to get into the habit of doing these each week. Remember, the deadline is Friday morning, Friday, 9 o'clock. That's when you have to have these done by. All right, and okay, most of you did a great job. Again, some of these people whose names are at the bottom, okay, if you have made 2 accounts, it's possible you have actually done this using a different account. If that's the case, let me know so that I can actually remove the account that you are not using, okay? That happened last quarter as well. Some people created 2 accounts and I had to delete some of them. So if that's you, let me know, okay? All right, so that's the quizzes from last week. There will be a quizzes this week, and the quizzes this week will actually be checking that you understand the information in the textbook, okay? And we'll have a look at that in a little while. But let's go back to our homework. The Kahoot, hopefully you guys have done the Kahoot. It was really just a way of looking at the textbook. Hang on a moment, I'll just see if we're going to do it today. No. I'm looking just to see if I put the link in here for you for the Kahoot. You don't have to register with Kahoot, you just click on the link and do the activity. Oh, maybe we didn't do the Kahoot last week. I beg your pardon. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, that's the Kahoot right there. We can see how you guys went. Okay, so the results. Let's see the podium. All right. Now remember, you only put in student numbers, okay, which is what I asked you to do. So I actually don't know who has done what until I go back and have a look at the student numbers. So well done, these people. All right. 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and 6 out of 10. The faster you get it in, the more marks you get. All right. Like I said, the Kahoot was just aimed at introducing the textbook to you. But essentially, the textbook is divided into 2 sections. The first section looks at how to write paragraphs, and then the second section looks at how to write essays. This quarter and next quarter, so in writing A and B, we'll be looking at how to write a paragraph. Next year, when you do writing C and D, we'll keep using the same textbook. and we'll be looking at how to write 4 or 5 paragraphs, or 3 to 5 paragraphs as an essay. Okay, so what you do this quarter or this semester, this year, is really important because you'll be building on that next year. All right. The paragraph section of the textbook, it introduces how to write a paragraph, and then it starts with just the basics, and then it will work through looking at different types of paragraphs. Okay, and you're going to do 4 different types of paragraphs, 2 this quarter and then 2 next quarter. Okay, so that was the textbook. The Edpuzzle. Let's have a look at how you did with Edpuzzle. Okay, first thing I need to do is find the class. Where are we? Here. Yep, okay, here we go, A and B. Now we've got 42 students in here. Okay. Kazumo, I'm going to delete this one, okay? I'm going to remove that one from our class. Please make sure you use the one with your student number, all right? Anybody else done the same thing? Let's have a look. Okay, please make sure your name is in here, okay? Obviously, we have 40 students in here now, which is, I think, about right. Okay, what I'm going to do now is lock this classroom. Now, what that means is that no new students can join the classroom, because we don't want people coming into this by mistake. It just gets confusing. All right, but if you have not joined this, please let me know, because I'll need to unlock the classroom to allow you to join it. And if you have 2 accounts in here, I will contact you and ask you to remove one of them. Now let's have a look at the assignment that you had to do. It was this one. I beg your pardon. It was the emails one. There we go. Emails. Only 25 people did this. Okay, we can see who did it, and we can see who started it, and we can see who finished it. Now, you needed to do this so that you could do the homework assignment of writing me an email, okay? It was actually a really good, clear instruction made by Professor Rooks. And if you went through this and listened to it and then did the questions, you would be able to do the follow-up activity. And the follow-up activity, let me see if I can find it, was writing an email. And you had to write it through Schoology. Now, I've answered some of you, and I will, okay, I will go back and I will answer everybody. Okay, I'm working on it. I'm trying to make sure I answer your questions properly. Okay, so this is good. Week 1 homework, so I know it's homework, and then the subject, okay? Okay, but occasionally there are other questions. That's why I'm asking you to put in the week 1 homework, so I know if someone's having a different problem and I need to get back to them as quickly as possible. So I need to get back to this person very soon, okay? But this is what you should have done, and I will be going through and I will be answering all of these, okay? Now, if you've done it, you get the grade. If you haven't done it, you don't get the grade. If there are any mistakes in terms of how you've written the email, I will tell you, but you won't lose any marks for it, okay? Okay, so let's go back. Oh, wrong one. So I'll try that again. Here we go. go back and we'll just have a look at the final activity in the week 1 homework. In fact, I think that was it. I think that covered everything. Okay. So you couldn't have done some of those activities unless you had actually registered. Okay. So the quizzes, the Edpuzzle. Yep. And I think that was it. Yep. Okay. So that was everything for week 1. All right. Now, deep breath. And let's have a look at what you have to do for week 2. Okay. So this week, again, you're going to be doing another Edpuzzle. And this week, we're going to introduce the basics of doing how to write a paragraph. Okay. So this week, we're going to start writing. You did do an email. Okay. That's not really an academic writing activity. This week, we're going to be using the textbook and 2 other activities related to the textbook, which will introduce the basic structure of a paragraph. So first, you should watch an Edpuzzle called Paragraph Basics. Okay. So click on this link and it will take you, well, let's do it. Okay, it'll take you here. You see there aren't that many questions. There's only 6 questions. It's a YouTube, it's a video I made of a PowerPoint about paragraph writing. It's quite simple. It just goes through the basic structure of a paragraph. Watch it and then answer the questions. The key point is that in quarter 3, when you first start writing, the emphasis is going to be on getting the paragraph structure correct. Okay? We want to make sure that you understand how to start a paragraph and how to go through and write the sentences of a paragraph and finish it. So that's what this activity will do. All right, and we'll talk more about this next week. Okay, but please watch this and answer the questions. Now do that first, because that will actually introduce you to the basic concept of writing a paragraph. And then open the textbook, okay? And for those of you who don't have the textbook yet, you'll have to just wait until you get it. You need to do this activity with the textbook in your hand. Okay, so start on page 11 in your textbook, and it talks about the structure of a paragraph. Okay, it's a quizzes activity. Now, when you click on the quizzes, you'll get questions, and you need to answer the questions using the textbook. So before you start the quizzes, read through pages 11, 12, and 13. And I'm just going to explain those to you right now quickly. So if you have the textbook in front of you, okay, please open it up. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can talk to you and just show you the pages of the textbook. Okay, I'll stop sharing the screen, and I have the textbook in my hand. Okay, hopefully you have it in your hand as well, and we can go through this together. So in this second unit, okay, so it's unit 2, we're going to look at the structure of a paragraph. You're going to learn what a paragraph is, okay, the different parts of a paragraph, and later on you'll learn how to write what's called a topic sentence. The topic sentence is the most important part of a paragraph. And when you do the Edpuzzle, it'll show you that. And next week, we will actually look at the topic sentence in detail. But just remember this. If you spend, in a paragraph, you should spend the most time writing the topic sentence, thinking about and creating your topic sentence. Because once you have a good topic sentence, the rest of the paragraph becomes very easy or easier, okay? Think of the topic sentence as the boss of the paragraph. It tells everything else what to do. And so if the topic sentence has been well written and well made, it has all the right parts, then the rest of the sentence becomes fairly easy. It's like making a cake, right? If you've ever done anything with cooking, you follow a recipe. If you have the recipe, you have the ingredients, and you just put it all together, mix it up, then usually it turns out okay. And it's the same with writing a paragraph. Follow the recipe. All right, so the first part of the book is understanding what a paragraph is. And on page 11, there we go, there is an example of a paragraph. Okay, now the quiz is actually has this information in it, but it's quite small. So it's better to have the textbook next to you so that you can do it. All right. This paragraph, if you have a look at the heading, okay, and all paragraphs, if you just have one paragraph, it should have a heading. If you have an essay, then you have one heading for the whole essay, which might be 4 or 5 paragraphs. This paragraph is about Switzerland, and it says something interesting at every turn. Now the heading should relate to the central idea of the paragraph. And then as you read through, everything in the paragraph should be related to the topic sentence, which is the first sentence, okay? Now there are some questions which you have to answer in the textbook. These questions are asked in the quizzes, all right? So if you do the quizzes, if you answer them in the textbook first, the quizzes will be super easy, all right? So read through the quiz, the textbook first. Now, the organization of a paragraph, I'm just gonna get that really close to my camera there so you can see it. This is on page 12, is fairly simple. Nearly always the first sentence of a paragraph is your topic sentence, the boss. It has 2 parts. It tells you what the topic of the paragraph is, and it has your idea about that topic, okay? Then you have supporting sentences. Each sentence that comes after the topic sentence supports your idea. Okay, so you've written what your idea is about in the topic sentence. Everything that comes after that should be to explain and support your idea. Think of it as justifying your idea. Okay, these are the reasons why my idea is correct, is what you are saying to the reader. So you give reasons and you give examples to support those reasons. Then the last sentence in your paragraph will be a concluding sentence. And that concluding sentence restates your idea. It restates the thesis statement, or the topic sentence, sorry, of your paragraph. Okay, so the concluding sentence, it just says it again, and then it might have one final comment that follows on from your idea. Now, the key thing with a paragraph, if you have a look at the little diagram, oh, that's not, yeah, there we go. The key thing about that is there are no breaks in the paragraph. The paragraph starts with, it's indented and it starts with a sentence. Then the next sentence just continues on. It starts here and it keeps going. Then there's another sentence and it continues on. You don't break the line. You don't start a new sentence on a new line in a one paragraph. It's together. And you just, so it's sentence, 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 final sentence, okay? So that's a paragraph. Now, the Edpuzzle will also illustrate those ideas, perhaps more clearly than in the book. The next activity in the book on page 13, it shows you 3 paragraphs, okay? And it's going to ask you to say which paragraphs are good and which ones aren't, and to explain why. The similar questions have been asked in the quizzes. Okay, so those 3 paragraphs, that one and that one and that one, are shown to you in the quizzes, and the same questions are asked. If you can answer the question in the textbook, you'll be able to do the question in the quizzes. Okay, so that's introductions to paragraphs, okay, that we're looking specifically at the structure of a paragraph. When you write your first paragraph and submit it for assessment, which is in about 3 weeks' time, that's what we will be grading you on, whether you get the structure correct, okay? So about 80% of your grade comes from, did you get the formatting right? And the rest will be, what did you say? Okay, so we're not really too worried about what you say this time, okay? We're not really worried about that. It's, did you have the proper paragraph structure? That's what you need to concentrate on for this first paragraph. All right, I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go back and have a look at the next activity. Okay, so that's the textbook. Read through pages 11 to 13, answer the questions in the textbook, then do the quizzes, okay? Again, you have until next Friday, 9 o'clock, to complete this activity. Now, there is a model paragraph which we are giving to you. It's about my hometown. And the reason we are giving this to you is it's a good example of a paragraph. It's in the week 2 folder. So let's go to the week 2 folder. Okay. So you have to get out of the instructions page in the week 2 folder. Okay, get out of this, come into the main page, and then click here. Okay. Now, there is, what you have to do is download the Word document at the bottom of this assignment page. Save it onto your computer and save it using your name and student number, okay? So we're using Shohei Ohtani as an example again, but this should be your first name, your second name, your student number, doc. So save it like this, please. And then before next week, you need to submit the Word document for grading, and you submit it here. Okay, this is just an example of how to submit it. This is the assignment, so I'm going to open it and we'll have a look at it. Okay, here we go. So it's my hometown, and there's instructions about what you need to do. Let's see if I can just drag this down. There we go. Okay, so the paragraph is on the next page. This is the paragraph here, okay? My hometown. There are 3 reasons why I believe Tabuse, Yamaguchi is a great place to live. First, Tabuse has some of the most beautiful nature, okay? Now, this was actually written by a student quite a long time ago. And what we want you to do is read through this paragraph and identify the different parts of it. So after you've done the Edpuzzle, after you've done the quizzes activity from the textbook, hopefully then you will understand the different parts of a paragraph and you'll be able to answer these questions. Highlight the topic sentence of the paragraph using yellow, okay? And to highlight, you highlight the sentence, okay? Like that. Just use your mouse to highlight. And then we have to go to home. On the home function, you see this one here. Okay, you can change the colors. We want yellow. And click on that. And now it's highlighted to yellow. Okay, so you highlight the topic sentence to yellow. And I'm just going to undo that. Okay. Write down here what the main idea of the topic is. Okay, remember a topic sentence has a topic. In this case, it's the hometown. What is the main idea though about the hometown? Okay, what does the author say about the topic? Write that down here. Number 3, highlight the concluding sentence in green. So again, just do this to the concluding sentence, change the color of your highlighter to green, and hey presto, okay? Again, what is the main idea in the concluding sentence? What is the main idea? Write that down here. What is the rest of the conclusion sentence, that should be concluding sentence, doing? Okay? What is so other than the main idea of the concluding sentence, what is the rest of the concluding sentence doing? Try to explain that using simple English. In the paragraph, how many main supporting ideas are there? Okay, so you have a main idea. How many supporting statements are there for that main idea? Just write a number, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay. And finally, what are the ideas used to support the topic sentence? So you write down how many there are, write down what they are underneath. Okay, this is actually the same thing. First, how many ideas are there? Write down the number, and then please write down the key words to explain what each of those supporting ideas, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, what they actually are. Okay, so you need to do this for homework. Okay, so remember to save it. Remember to use your first name, your last name, your student number, and then submit it on Schoology. Okay, submit it here. And again, that needs to be done before next Friday. All right, this week's 10-minute timed writing topic is my favorite food. So do the same thing you did last week, but this time you're going to be talking about the food that you love to eat the most. Okay, again, if you want to go back, reopen the timed writing document from last week, okay, and in section 2, you can write about your favorite food, or you can just go straight to the timed writing activity, this one here, and you can just type it straight into the post. Okay, you can just write it in directly if you want to. But I would say that those people who did it on the Word document and then copied and pasted, it looked a lot better. It was much easier to read. Okay, but that's your choice. You can decide how you want to do that. But you have to have, you need to post your time writing activity in there before next week. And again, comment. Okay, go and comment on each other's timed writing activities, what their favorite foods are. The final activity for this week are these sentence combining number 2. This time it's still coordinates. Okay, last time we looked at and so, but this time we're looking at the two different coordinates, but and or. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is do the individual ones on page 70 for but and page 71 for or. Practice them in the course pack first. When you have finished, then go to the assessment activity in Schoology. Again, it's in the week 2 folder. Okay, it's this one here. And do this activity. Okay, so it explains what how to do but, okay? Remember the comma, okay? It should be used between the first clause before the compound but, when there are two independent clauses. So here's an example. Joe waited for the train never came. Joe waited for the train, comma, but it never came, okay? This could also be, but the train never came. Both of those would be correct, all right? Another example for or, okay, again, use a comma between the first clause and compound or, when there are two independent clauses. Be here on time, we will leave without you. Be here on time, comma, or we will leave without you, okay? When you start, same as before, same as last week, you need to do, I think there's about 8 sets, okay? So set 1, set 2, 3, oh, 9 sets, I beg your pardon. And then the final one will be the paragraph, okay? So there are 9 sets, and then you need to write in your answers for the paragraph. Okay, that's it for this week. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll just stop sharing. Now, if anybody has any questions about either last week's homework or this week's homework or this week's activities, please ask me now or send me an email through Schoology, or you can put it in the general forum, okay? Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll stop now and we'll come back in about 40 minutes at 11 o'clock, and we will start the communications class. Okay, my suggestion is go have a break for 10 minutes and try to refresh your brain, and then maybe do some of the activities. And then if you need to, you can ask me in the next session. One last thing, the recording of this, okay, I will upload it to YouTube. I will put it into the Zoom section of week 2 instructions. So if you need to review anything, it's there. And for the 4 people or 5 people who didn't attend today's Zoom session, you can watch it again. However, I strongly suggest that you participate in the Zoom sessions. It makes it easier for you. Okay, that's it for this week. All right, I'll see you all in about 40 minutes time. Any questions? All right then. One thing I will ask you all to do, okay? And if you can, if possible, please do this before the next Zoom session, okay? So take time between Zoom sessions to do this. Please update your Zoom profiles. Put a picture, preferably of your face, to go with your name, especially if it's all kanji. If you don't want to put a picture of your face, then put a picture of something else that represents you, okay? I'll see if I can find any examples other than mine. Oh, here we go. That's Yuki has got the koi. That's pretty cool. I like that. All right. But do something, okay? Rather than having a screen full of names, it would be nice to have some faces that we can look at. In the next session, at the end of the next session, we will also do a quick Zoom breakout session. Okay, so I'll stop now. We'll end the session. If you have any questions, send me an email. Okay, see you in about 40 minutes.